to us. As it suggests recommended charts to us, so we can explore the ones that fits our visualization, that fits the data we are trying to communicate. So when we explore, just go through the ones that Excel suggests. You can scroll up or scroll down to see the charts that suggest that fit your data. But before you click on recommended chart, you have to select your data first. I can have 12 columns and I want to visualize only two out of it. Probably I have a data that says um, first term, like a report sheet, and I have a data that says first term CA. Let's use the normal one. It's first CA, second CA, general CA, exam, then over 100. And I don't want to visualize my own report card. I just want to visualize my CA. So I'll just pick my first CA, second CA, and general CA. So just make sure you select the range, and after that, you can go ahead and click on probably recommend charts or other stuff. So that is one way we can quickly create a chart. It should suggest the kind of chart for us, so you just click it. Another way is that you can create a chart using the quick access tool. So the quick analysis tool. After selecting your data range, like my picture here, I selected a data range. We observe that in this picture that I have here that I'm showing you, I did not select the whole data. I selected up to a point. So probably you don't want to like visualize the whole column or something. You can select half of it or to the point where you want to visualize or the range where you want to visualize. When you scroll to the bottom, you see this icon that has thunder on it. So this icon that has thunder on it, it's called the quick analysis tool. And the quick analysis tool, I hope like you can follow through. That's why I told us to like open the sheet. So the quick analysis tool, it allows us to like quickly do analysis. So when you click it, you see some options will pop out like table, format, charts, etc. So when you click it, just go to the chart. So I say navigate to the chart tab and select a chart that suits your visualization. So you can actually like explore that too. You just select some of the data on the confidence score. You realize that this icon will pop out like to just show up. So if you click it, it allows you to do like some quick analysis. So just go to the chart area. Once you are there, you can just click it to suggest the chart that like it recommend, and then you are able to do that. So this is one thing that we should note. Note that when you create a chart, chart design and format tab. I'm supposed to put a tab there. Like we all know what our tabs is in the Excel ribbon. So you see why it's like it was necessary for me to explain those tabs then because it is important. When you click the recommended chart and you select the chart, some new tabs will come up. So these tabs are the ones that allows us to edit and format our chart. So the name of the two charts that comes up is the chart design and the format chart. So they are created. You see them very next to the view, review, help, and likes. You see them there. So these ones, so that's about that. So I want to be sure of why I'm showing here. So the next thing is the types of charts that we are able to create in Excel. So these are the basic ones. Like I try to cover almost every chart that we can create in Excel. So let's just walk through them and see what they do. So the first one is the column chart. So you see they stand like vertical, vertical, vertical. So you can create a column chart in Excel. So I'll be showing us where you can see all of them if you don't want to use like the recommended one. So you can see all of them. I'll be showing us like when we get to the practical part, you can see all of them. So the first one is the column chart. So a column chart in Excel uses vertical bar to represent categorical data. So categorical data, like I can categorize this data, and a column chart we most of the time it should take one argument. So there are different kind of column charts. So you can have a stacked column chart or a clustered column chart. So, but let us just note that this is what the column chart looks like. It is vertical and it takes categorical data. Like January is very different from February. very different from March, very different from April. They are categories, like they are not continuous. So, or they are not, they are categorical continuous. I guess that's the one. So the next kind of chart that I'm looking at is line charts. So this line charts, you see, it is represented by a line. And most of the time, you see all those dots that is there to allow us to see the data point. It is not always there. It is just a line to like give us a visual representation of how it is moving. So it is either used for like a time series. Okay, I said visually depict data points connected by line segments, ideal for revealing trend and relationship over time, stuff that happen over time. Because it tells us like, oh, January it came down, February it went up. You can use it to represent stuff beyond time. I can use it to represent tenure. I can say, yeah, that's still like time. But you get, this is what I mean. During when Jide was class captain, our our school did well. When Limon was class captain, our school went up. When a female was a class captain, our school went like, up again, that kind of thing. So you can, instead of putting the year that those stuff happened, you can actually put the name of those people there. So it's like a line chart to show the trending stuff, that kind of visualization. So the next one is the pie chart. So the pie chart, it uses a circle, a slice of a circle to represent data. So I said visually depicts of a whole, proportion of a whole, like proportion of a whole data, using slice of a circle, ideal for representing between categorical data. So when you are using it, try to use it for categories that are 4 or less than 4. The reason why is because when you do a pie chart, it's kind of for like a more category, like say you are doing it for up to 10 category, it becomes very hard for us to look at it and know the difference or even identify. We might even forget that we've seen this particular stuff before, like this particular stuff is part of this data. For instance, if you look at this is just 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me now say I have number 12. Now this 4 alone, it is good because it's before, because I can see America, like very big, Asia, very big. Let's now say we have another one here. So it will be very hard for me to like know the difference between the one that is here and the one that is here, because they are almost the same in size. If not that, this chart I have employed like a proper data formatting style by adding the names and the percentage it actually represents. Some visualizations, they will just draw the pie charts, no 14%, no Africa. Or even there be Africa there, but no 14%. So it will be hard for us to know the actual volume that it occupies. So the next one beside it is called a donut chart. A donut chart is like a pie chart, but it's not a circle. It comes like in a donut shape. So after that, we have like a bar chart. So this is like not actually like a bar chart, but it's a bar chart. So while I was preparing for this class, I tried to achieve this with Excel, but I cannot count. I don't know if professional, like, if the professionals, if they can. But I know I can achieve this with Power BI. Like you get, if you know Power BI is built basically for visualization. So I can do this with Power BI. It's a bar chart. But I try to do it with Excel, but Excel is not aligned. The only difference is in Power BI, you have the align option. It allows you to align your cluster chart to the center. But I tried to look for that option, but it was not there. So this is like a bar chart. A bar chart, unlike a column chart, it represents data in the horizontal way. In the column chart, you just make sure that the bars are standing. But here, the bars are like lying, and it is. So yeah, let us just move to the next one. This next one is the area chart. So what the area chart does is like the line chart. After plotting the line for the for the data pattern, what it does is that it fills the bottom part of that line with a solid color. So for an area chart, it plots a line chart, but it does not just leave the lower part of it blank. It fills it with a solid color. You know, that's what an area is. Area is how much are you occupying. If you are checking for perimeter of a circle, you can just draw the line. You don't need to fill the circle. But if you are looking for area of a circle, you have to like calculate what it occupies. Like when this circle is here, what does it cover? So that's what area chart is. And this particular chart that we are seeing here is representing up to like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's representing 5 different areas. You can see coal, hydro, nuclear, gas, oil. So each of them is like a different line chart filled with solid colors. And the way Excel will arrange it for you is that we'll put the biggest at the back, the ones that are small in the front, so that we can see everything. So from this visualization now, I can see that is it hydro now or gas? Okay, I can see that coal has the smallest, like that, followed by hydro, like that. So that is what like an area chart does. Just allow me to. The next one is the scatter plot. So the scatter plot, what it does is that it does not consider its neighbors, like it does not consider other people. It knows only myself and my colleague, like myself and my peer. It's a pairwise kind of plot. We have paired two guys together, X and Y, the horizontal and the vertical. So you just go straight and say X and Y, wherever they meet, you put a dot there. So it does not concern itself with probably drawing a rectangle, drawing a line, connecting with others. It just do an X and Y kind of plot. So for this reason, it's also called the XY plot, meaning that my X-axis and my my X-axis and my Y-axis, they just meet and it plots them. So I said it represents relationship between two numerical variables, like there has to be numbers, and using data point position along horizontal and vertical axis. So that does that. The next one is the histogram. So like the bar chart, histogram is like bar chart. The difference is that histogram is used to show distribution. Like bar chart is a rectangle standing alone. But histogram, all the rectangle will be brought together, like close side by side, so that we can quickly see the difference between this rectangle and the next rectangle. And another important thing to note about histogram is that they kind of share the same pin, the same distance. So I said histogram is a bar chart with that visualize the frequency distribution of data within specified intervals. Like we have to specify the interval 30 to 35. We realize that 30 is not under one particular rectangle. It is 35 to 40 is not under one rectangle. There is no number that is under a particular rectangle. Each number is oh, okay, yeah, you can actually have it that way too. But the ideal histogram, you know, I did mathematics like quite well. But the ideal histogram, we not put a number under a rectangle. We should put a number at the beginning of the rectangle, and the next number will be at the end of the rectangle. Such that when I'm saying 30 to 35, say 30 to 35. So that's what I'm trying to explain. That's what an ideal histogram would do, not like the way it's being seen here. So we have a tree plot. A tree plot is another kind of visualization. This allows us to see the volume of a particular data, like how much of this value is in this column. So we have a resource sale here. From this tree plot is comprised of rectangles, like nested rectangles stacked all together. So it is useful for us like quickly have a glance of our data entry. Here we can see that the biggest guy is the business comms. Like the business comms has like the biggest part of this of this resource sales. And the guy that has the smallest is BWS. Like we can see this very quickly with a tree plot. Moving on, we have box and whisper plot. Uh, so yeah, we have box plot and whisper plot. So this is like a combination of two plots. So we have box plots. The box plots, like these are used like in showing the distribution, like histogram. Like it shows us the when we say distribution, it means that it allows us to see the mean, median, and like um deviations. Yeah, deviations is the word. Or let's say the ones that are far from the normal guys, the ones that are outside. Like you realize that this when we come to this histogram again, we said histogram is for distribution too. You see that this guy that's under 70 year has left the guys that's so it means that it is dispersed, like it's the variance is much. So that is like to measure distribution. This one also is used to measure distribution. The median is actually the line that is, you see that box? The box that is there is called the box plot. So this is showing us the median, the first quarter, second quarter, yes, first quarter, second quarter, median, maximum, minimum, this one is like outlier. I hope I explained it correctly. So, like, we can see the median, like the values that happen to be like in the middle. Then the box is like, oh, this box, this box is telling us that most of the numbers under this column are inside this box. Like, this is where it is the most. And then we have the first quarter, the second quarter. Like, it's like dividing the number into four. So if we divide the number into four, we have the highest, the lowest. Then we have the first quarter, the second quarter. Then the median always fall in between the first quarter and the second quarter. You agree with me, right? Like if we divide something into four, the middle is always in between the first quarter, like the first quarter and the second quarter. So that's what the box plot does. So the whisper is like the one that it is within the data, but it is an outlier in the sense that it is far from the normal guys. It is like it is very much dispersed. Like, yeah, it is far. Let's just use that word. It is far from the normal guys. So the last one we'll be looking at is the funnel plot. So this funnel plot is used to like show a step-by-step visualization. And probably we have, okay, here is saying a sales pipeline. Like this is like a pipeline for people that we want to, like a project. So prospects, that's the first, that's, okay, let me use this as the number of people that we consider for like a sales project. And then under prospect, you see that prospect has the highest, just represent it with a rectangle. Then we move further to qualified prospects. Then we filter out our prospects the more. So it goes down to like a smaller rectangle. Then we say needs analysis. We look for people that really need the products that we are offering. And then you see that we realize that even some of the people that we considered as qualified, they don't need it. So that gives us like another rectangle under it. So we have the price code. So when we tell them the price of our product, some people left again. And we have like the smaller rectangle. We have negotiation and then we have closed sales. So this, it is very easy for us in Excel to do all this kind of plots just by clicking. And let us, okay, we have one more. We have radar and we have bubble charts. Okay, so after this now, let me see the next slide. Yeah, this is not supposed to be it. Okay. So after this now, we'll go to like creating all the charts with our data. So we have radar plot. This radar plot is like a line plot that is connected together. So it's also known as spider chart. It compares multiple data series through radiating axis and connecting lines. The good thing about radar is that it can allow us to visualize like a whole lot of data points at the same time, provided that they have the same unit of measurement. like, let me say, I'm measuring my learning pace like every day. Or probably, let me see, I'm saving every day. Let me say I'm saving every day. And I'm saving 10, 10, 10 words now. 10 words, like I say. £10. Okay, let me say I'm saving £10. So I'm saving £10 every day. But I also have like my list of preference, like stuff that I need. So let's call this laptop. Or let's call this laptop. Let's call this probably gaming pad. Let's call this, let's say, a console. Let's call this a phone. Let's call this, yeah, let's call this clothes. Let's call this miscellaneous. So I'm saving £10 for everything. So my unit is going to be 0, 10, 10, 20, 20, 30, and you get like that. So up like that. So this radar plot is going to be like, oh, for laptop, I have saved 35. You see that in the middle of 30 and 40. And then for my gaming part, I have saved exactly this one now. I've saved exactly 2045. And then for my console, I have saved it. For my mobile phone, I've saved 65. Like you see, it allows me to like visualize a whole lot of points in one visualization. And the interesting part is that we don't like have to like write any code or write any technical stuff about a radar plot. We just highlight our data that tells us the story about my savings. Probably I've arranged them in Excel. I've arranged them same January, gamepad, remote, let's say console, mobile phone, laptop, and then I've input 10, 10. Like today, January, £10, February, £10, and I have the sum somewhere. So I can just click the category and the sum, and it will give me a radar plot. The next one is a bubble. Next one is a bubble chart. So if you have questions, you can drop questions for people that are online. So a bubble chart is like a scattered plot. So remember, a scattered plot is like XY plot. It knows its X, it knows its Y, it goes straight there and put a dot. So a bubble chart is just like dot. The reason why it is called bubble chart now is that it takes one more variable, and that one more variable is going to consider it as the size of the dot. So let's say I have XY, and the size is probably number of people. So we realize that the biggest bubble here is going to be the one with that the people attended to the most. And then the smallest one will be the one people attended to the least. So probably I have XY coordinates, say, let me do latitude and longitude. And then it can plot latitude, x-axis, latitude, longitude, y-axis, and plot it. So it will just give me, I've put in that there's 10,000 people there. Just give me that circle. So the ones that have 2,000 people, we have a smaller circle. That is what a bubble chart does. So we move straight to like the practical session. So that is what is next on this agenda now. And I think we have spent our time. So let's just go back to the beginning. And now let us load the data that has charts in it. There's a data that has charts in it. So I'll be sharing my Excel screen now. So let me just use this. So if you click on get data, you can get the one that has charts as well. Just allow me to do my data, get data option. It's very inconvenient. So people online are asking for attendance. So if somebody should help us like drop the attendance link. Or the attendance link will be dropped. Ah, okay, yeah. So this is just allow me to bring in my Excel. So I hate this one. Sorry, please allow me to be very okay. Okay, yep. Excel is off. So this is just like a income and expenditure breakdown. Let's say for a family from January to like July. So we want to use this data to create some charts. So if you remember our instructions, so we are going to be creating the column chart first. So if you remember our instructions, we have column charts. Let's just select the data. So I want to visualize this. Let me visualize everything actually. So I will just, so I will explain what is up to us. So here now, I've selected my own data. I can come to insert, and then I can go to, you see this recommended chart. This is the one that like gives us the recommended chart of the thing. And then you can see the already recommending column chart for us. Like you can just click it and apply it. Just click it and we have a column chart already. So I don't want to do column chart. I don't want to do it that way. I want to show us another way. So here is another way for us to see like the whole list of charts that are there in Excel. Just come to under this chart, it's this arrow that says that blow it out, expand. So if you click it, it will expand your dialog box for us, what we just seen. And then you can see all charts here, all charts. So here, all charts, these are all the kind of charts that you have in Excel. So I've explained like quite a number of them. This one, this combo allows us to combine two or more charts together. So here we can see a column chart and a line chart. Here we can see an area chart, a column chart, and here you can actually customize what other kind of charts you want on it. But for this, say we are doing a column chart, and we are going to go with this chart. So I just click it, and I click OK. So clicking OK here, it draws my chart for me. So the reason why we're having two bars next to each other is because I selected two columns. Remember, we have January, February, March, and the likes, and they are here. But we also have income and expenditure. So it will read income as one category, like that's a column on its own. Then expenditure is another column. If I have three columns, it can allow me to like do three, it will give me three bars. So under this column chart, we have different kind of column charts. So we can quickly do chart layout, quick layout, and see, okay, that was not quick. So, so this is not quick. So how to see where we can find, I want to see where we can find the kind of column charts that are here. Okay, this is it here. So you can either have a stacked chart, if you just stack it up, like instead of giving us two bars to represent income and expenditure, so to just build expenditure where income stopped, stack it up. So we can also have like the equally stacked. I really don't know what this chart is used for, honestly. But we also have some 3D charts. It is a best advice to like avoid these 3D charts, except you are doing like a graphics work, or probably are doing it, even if you are doing it for a magazine, it's very it's very hard for people to like interpret this kind of data. You understand? You just stick with the plain data and doing all with the fine. So I just go back here and I change this. So this is what a column, this is how easy it is for us to create a column chart. So you realize it's the same chart title, and that is, it allows us to edit it. We are going to get the learn how to edit charts the more. But to change the chart title, you can just double click on it, and it allows you to like input whatever charts, whatever name you want to give to the chart. So that is that. Another way to create other type of chart is to quickly come to this change chart type. Like what I want to do now is that I want to show us the next type of chart, which is a line chart. So I can go to recommend charts, all charts, and click line chart. But that is like all the way back to the end and then come to the same point. Like that is going back and coming to the same place. So I can just click on this change chart type. So it's change chart type. Okay, no, that's not where I'm supposed to be. So let me just close this window. So I've clicked on my chart right. So change chart type, and then I can just go to so I can just go to line chart and create the line chart, and then apply. So this is telling us that, oh, guy, in January, see you here. February, you spent less.
Make a special on this that actually pick up every 15 minutes to period, and then the form will close by period.
Okay, so for March, I spent more in March than in February, same as my expenditure. Like my expenditure and my income, you can see like the correlative analysis between them. They are following each other. When I earn more, I spend more. When I earn less, I kind of spend less. Except in July, when my expenditure was normal, but I earned more. So that is, you can see this one is like a straight line. Why this guy, it's increased. So this is what a line chart does. So it's that very flexible for us to edit and customize. So let us go ahead, and the next one is a donut chart or a pie chart. So we are going to see, so I'll just delete this chart now. So So the reason why I said it is I just want to use one column for the donut chart. So before we continue, the attendance link has been dropped and like requested on the chat. So I've been told to pass across to us people online that the attendance is going to be renewed every 15 minutes. Like a new link will be dropped every 15 minutes. And it is going to run like that till the end of the session, which is 3 o'clock. So do well to like stay with us. And we are learning together. So that's it. So we are doing a pie chart now. So I will just select this month's column, and then I will select this expenditure column. So how did I do that? Some people might be wondering. I know some people will be walking through it also. When I click on this A here, it selects all the columns. So I did that first. So I held down Control, which allows me to select multiple columns. So if you hold down Control and you click C, it does the same thing. So I go to my insert. Now I want to click on recommended chart, bring out recommended chart. For me, do you see pie chart number 3? So it's telling me that pie chart is recommended for me. So I can go with it. So I have it here, and then okay. So this is like a pie chart. You see that by default, it does not have to 14%, 13%, and like that. So this is why it is very difficult for us to like use a pie chart, except I go to editing and label axis and I start adding the percentage to it, like edit it and do all the stuff. So this does it for me. You can also quickly change the column. If you don't want to visualize expenditure again, you can also visualize income. So that we can look at when we get to like the editing part. You just come to this chart and you do select data, So when you select data, you can remove expenditure and add income. So when you remove expenditure, it allows you to add. Okay, let me just select that. Okay, so sorry, I did not see this. Okay. Oh, no, okay. Yeah, sorry. Okay. This is not what I want. Yeah, but the concept is you can just select your data or probably go to, you can select your data. Let me try it again. Let me add, let me add income. I don't know why it's one. No, it's supposed to pick. Wait, January, supposed to pick January.
Please help us check the audio. It's bad.
Okay, okay. Is it better now? Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. I'm deleting this part. Yeah, I don't know why that. Oh, actually, but that's like the concept. So the next one is after, but I can't really see the screen now. Okay, let me just see from it. Please, who can help us adjust the sound? It's making noise. And people online are complaining. Okay, so I want to see the one that is next. No, people online are saying the sound is. So the next one is the area chart. So we know what an area chart looks like. So we try to plot area chart with our data too. So is the sound good now? Is the sound okay? Please let us know in the comment section. Yes. Okay, so thank you very much. So we are trying to create an area chart now, and we select our data again. Is this what we can see now? Okay, let's just try to go back to Excel. Okay, so we select our data. Yeah, let's select our data. Like, come to recommended charts, insert chart. So I just want to do this for like, I'll do this for area chart and I'll move to like the radar and the bubble charts. You can't actually do for bubble charts. So this is what the area chart would look like. So this is telling us that overall, my expenditure, is this really correct? Say my expenditure is bigger than my income. So that is why it is like this. So you see that creating charts in Excel with just few clicks, it is easy to do that. So let us just go straight to like, um, let us go to radar charts and let's do radar chart and tree map. Yeah, let's do radar chart and tree map. So let me just change this. I'll just come to change data, change that style, and then I'll pick radar, then I'll pick OK. Now you see the advantage of this guy is I can visualize the two at the same time. But it is very difficult for some people to interpret a radar map or a radar chart. So it is advised that if it is not a single column, like you should just not use it. Like for these two columns now, for these two variables now, by the time I have 3 to 4 or 5, it's kind of starts, it looks very, very spider webbish. Gets will not be able to identify which one is which one again. So two is fine, but it's good for one column when you are trying to visualize one column. You see the way the other one was very neat and we were able to interpret it very well. So for this one, once you get to 4 or 5, it gets very clustered. So let's do for the last one, let's do a tree map. So let's just change the data again. Change data. Let's do tree map. So this is categorize it by month. So all these ones we have been doing, they are categorical. And you see, even the month name is not there, it does give us legends. But all this can be fixed in the editing pane, and we will do that like quite soon. Like we can even do that right away. So when you click on your data range, you can go to look at these guys here, format data series. So this allows us to format our data series. But I want to add a chart element because the chart element is actually the, so I'll add data label. You see it's on none, so I'll say show. So it will show my data label. It's showing it in color black. So I can go ahead and like format it more. So that's when I'll come to like, so these are things that we'll learn when we get to so label option. So okay. So I can come to this field, say field. Sorry, I want to be sure I'm in the right. I want to see if it should change if I try it. No, I knew that is not it. That is for like the data series. I need the option has to be a label option because it is a label. So I can come to the data label. Then field, and I change this to white. So this is still like filling the box that the names are, but this is not what I want to get. So instead of saying solid fields, so I'll just change it to automatic. So let me try text option and then color. So this is what I want to achieve. So that is like formatting and editing. Like it allows our presentation to be more solid and to be more professional. So let us move ahead. So that is that about data visualization in Excel. So I want to move to the next stuff, which we've already done part of the next stuff, but I'll just show my slide and we can continue from there. So editing and formatting charts in Excel, like part of what I've done is the editing and formatting charts in Excel. But before you can edit and format charts, like you have to know the names. Like the other time when we were trying to change the column, I already saw that the name of what I was changing is series label. And it is not series label I want to change. I just say, let me just give it a try. I know that what I want to change is a label because the name of the month is actually a label. So if you know the name of whatever you want to edit or format, is makes it very easy for you to go ahead and do it straightforward. So if you have a chart, there are basic parts of the chart that you should know their name. The first one is the chart title, and that is like family cash flow chart. So I've edited that to represent. This is the first chart we created. So I've edited that to visualize the family cash flow chart. You see that this one is even more detailed, like I formatted this chart to make more sense. You can see amount, month, and the likes. So the next one that we should know is also the axis value. The axis value is like you see those $180,000, $150,000, $140,000. Those are like the vertical axis, they are values. And we also have values on the horizontal axis. January, February, March. And then we have the axis label, which is amount and month. So when you know the names of these elements, they are actually called chart elements. When you know the name of this element, it allows you to like when you want to edit them, you know what you are editing because this is how Excel understands the name and it will be able to edit it. So we also have grid lines. You can have different kind of grid lines. You can decide to remove the grid line if you want. So we also have data label, like you get now. I added data label on each bar. So add like add data label there. We also have the data series. Each bar, whatever you are visualizing is a data series because it is representing all the entries in a particular column. So it is like a series. So it allows you to like visualize the data series. Then we have the plot area. The plot area is that area that contains your chart minus the chart title and the legend. I forgot the legend minus the chart title and the legend, and the part that contains the chart is called the chart area. I mean the plot area, but the whole graph altogether is called the chart area. So you see those two things that are down, the income and the expenditure, we call them legend. Like they are the ones that tell us more about the data. So we are going to be looking at these things now. We are going to try to like format the first. Let me see the next slide. Okay, I'll explain more and then try to like format the first chart we created and we can move on quickly. So we're almost done. Editing and formatting charts. To edit and format the charts, go to chart design tab and select add chart element. You saw me do that before, right? When I wanted to add like the January. So I went to it's automatically on the chart design. And by default, chart design is not in Excel tab. It only comes there when we create a chart. That's when it comes there. So you go there and you click on add chart element to modify and create any chart, any chart to convey your ideas. This enables you to modify item in your chart as you need. Like what that line is trying to say is that it allows us to like add a chart element and it allows us to delete a chart element if we don't want it. So to change the color, change color to okay. Like if you have your Excel, you see these things I'm trying to mention. I expect that the Excel is open and you are on the chart design. Yeah, you're on the chart design tab. So if you can see the add chart element and then followed by okay, let me not say followed by because I can't remember the particular order. So there's also change color, very next to like that. So it allows you to change the color of the data series. Now let us take note of that. Remember that data series are like the rectangles, the solid areas, the color field. So the change color allows us to change it. The other time we're using blue and red, I guess. So you can change it to probably green and something else if you want. So it allows you to change the color of the data series. The chart style allows us to change the theme of the chart. So the chart style has like some predefined themes. It's not actually just the style now. It changed like the entire color, the background, the font, the presentation. So it changed theme of the chart. So it's also there. It's like longest group or the longest bar in that change design tab. To add more data to the chart, you can click select data tools. And that's what I was trying to do the other time. I did not know why. Yeah, is that a question? Okay, now for more advanced editing and formatting, uh, for more advanced editing and formatting, you can right click on your charts. Like if you create any chart, you can right click on it, select format chart area, and it will bring out this panel. If you are very observant, you'll have noticed this panel in the first chart we created. It automatically opened it for us. And this is, and that is where I was able to like change insert the name of my data label. So this format chart area, it is particularly the area that allows us to format our chart in a more custom way, in a way that it is that we want to see it. We can increase the font size, we can increase the spacing, we can increase the margin, everything we can do under format chart area. And how do we get to this format chart area? Once you right click on your chart, you see it in the options, format chart area. So, and in this format chart area, the dialog allows us to extensively edit the chart. It contains options for elements of a chart, and it contains options for elements of a chart, and that's what I want to point out. You realize that we studied chart elements, all those labels in a chart. So all those chart elements now, they have options. Like this now, this is chart option. So I am here. I know that whatever I do under this format chart area is affecting my chart directly. So if I want to work on the text in that chart area, I'll click on this text to activate text. But ordinarily, it's going to work on like the shapes that are in the chart. So if I want to do something on probably like legend, I'll come here, I'll click it, and then I'll select legend because legend is another chart element. So that way I can edit only the legend without editing the charts. I hope you understand. So if I want to do something on labels, I'll come there and click it. It will bring out the label option. I can edit label. So that is why the chart, format chart area is very, very like a very, very editing and formatting tool. So what are the best practices for visualization, the do's and the don'ts? Yeah. So the do's. Before we read through, let's look at these two visualizations that I have side by side. Which one is easy? The two of them they are kind of too, they have too much data. Let me put it like that. But one is easier to get than the second one. Which one will you vote that is easier to get? For your online members, if you choose the first one, just drop one in the comment section. If you are choosing the second one, just drop two in the comment section. So for the online members, if you choose one, just wait. If you choose one, wait. If you choose two, okay, one. Yeah, actually, one is thank you very much. You can see the entries from the online. So one is like the one that is easier for us to like visualize to see very quickly. But that doesn't stop Excel from suggesting it to us. In fact, if you put the two before the one, because what we are doing is categorical. That is how Excel understands it. But it's now left for us to know that this one tells my story better than the other one. That is why visualization is important. So the one works for us. So what are the do's? So we set the X at 0. So x-axis has to be at 0. Like the axis, if not even only x, like O axis, x and y, they have to start from 0. And they have to start from zero in the sense that it doesn't allow people to misinterpret charts. Now, if you want to re-emphasize on the ones that are the tallest, because I don't know how to put this without. Okay, let me just try to explain it. Let's say I have a data, and my data I have three entries. I have 10, I have 100, and I have 110. So if I represent this in a triangle, the 110 and the 100, they will be close to each other. You understand? And then the 10 will be very, very small under, right? So if my data did not start from zero, suppose my label start from 50. This place is 50, and this place is 100. You understand? I will see the 100 and I will see the 110, but I will not see the 10. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. It will not show me the 10 at all because I have not considered it in my label, in my axis label. But if I started from zero, zero will be here, like that 10 will be here, 100 will be somewhere here, it will be very high, and then 110 can follow. That way, I'm able to capture the whole view. If I now want to tell people more about the 100 and the 110, I can now zoom in into it and say, this is the area I want to focus on. But initially, I have to start from zero so that I capture the entire data. That's why I say start the axis at zero. Otherwise, the viewer might draw an inaccurate conclusion from our data. Clearly label your axis and the chart. So it is very important for us to label the axis and the chart. Like put amount where amount is, put month where month is. If it is not amount, if it is money borrowed, put it as money borrowed. Don't put it as amount. If it is, yeah, just make sure that the label is correct and you are actually passing the right information, because that's what visualization does. Remove distracting chart elements like grid, varying colors, and pictures. I don't know if any of us have seen this post of the most animal that is being consumed worldwide. Like the most animal, I think I saw it yesterday or day before yesterday. They were showing a visualization to tell us that these are the animals that we eat as human beings, and this is how much of them we eat in a year. Actually, we eat more of chicken. According to that visualization, we eat like 75 billion chicken in 1 year. And it will shock you that people eat more of octopus than cows from the visualization. But that's not where I'm going. I mean, worldwide, worldwide. It's not Nigeria, it is like worldwide. Where I'm going is that the visualization is not even a visualization, it's the graphics. Because number one, they used 3D. Number two, they now placed each animal on top of the chart, like so that when I am seeing the number of chickens that I eat, I have to see the chicken first. And it is so funny that you will not see some values, because by the time they show you octopus, you look at the octopus before you look at the number under it. So it is very distracting. That's why we say you should pictures should be avoided, and don't use too much colors. Don't make your visualization look like a rainbow. Like you represent chicken with green and say the next one that is cow, you want to represent it with black and white because cow has black and white. And then you want to represent dog with brown. So it becomes too colorful like that. Just choose a color, very preferable, one single color. And if you don't want to use a single color, you can use a shade of the same color. Light blue, very tinted blue, a shade next like that. Zoom in on the y-axis if your data starts above zero. So if your data starts above zero, like I say, it starts above 50, like that's why it is important. Like you zoom in on it to see if there is any 10. If your data starts on 50, and try to zoom in and see if there is anything that is not showing. Like that 10 might not show, but it's like Excel will calculate it, but it's not going to show. But zoom in on it and it will show. Put value label on your bars and on your charts. The other time we did that, we tried to put January on the tree map, February on the tree map. It is kind of like the best practices. Use scatter plots when you have a lot of data use line regression for correlation. So when you have like a whole lot of data to plot, and if they are numeric, use data plots. Like it quickly tells you, when you use a column chart, or probably you can even use a line chart, and at the end of the day, the thing will just look like the head of a broom. You know what the head of a broom looks like? So it just scatter, scatter, scatter. You can't really tell which broom is the tallest. Like you get. So if your data is too much and you still decide to use a line plot like this one that is up, your data will just be like the head of a broom, and you will not even be able to like identify what is what. So it's better to like use a scatter plot, which is XY plot, to just in a very brief sense tell you the direction your data is going. And if you want to measure the correlation between X and Y, you can add a regression line to it. Excel allows us to do that with the combo kind of charts. Be consistent. Keep spacing on your sections even, and pick a pleasing color palette. Like consistency is key to visualization. If you are visualizing more than 2 or 3 data, the colors that you start with, make sure you stick with them. Don't keep rainbow color like I've said earlier, and be consistent with the font size, and the font color, so that one is not bigger than the other. It might imply some things in visualization. The don'ts. Look at this very poor visualization now. This is a very poor visualization. Look at the legends. Everything here is a legend. They represent different things, and they have stacked them up all together such that even there is no difference between the legend and the data series itself, like the columns themselves. So this is like a very bad stuff that we should try not to do and avoid. You see, this one is even like has more color than a rainbow. Avoid too many colors. Avoid the rainbow effect using a single color or a shade of the same color. It makes our work easier and very easy to understand. Don't make viewers do visual math. Give the proper context with appropriate labels and legend. Don't assume that my viewers will do the plus and the minus. It actually happens a lot when we are doing stacked column charts. Like I have a rectangle and I stack another rectangle on it. Like, okay, this one is blue, this one is red. So you expect me that I want to visualize it, like I want to read your work too. Say the blue stopped at 100 and the whole data is 150. So 150 minus. You are telling me to do the math. You get, like, don't tell the viewers to do the math. Try to like make life easier for them. Put them side by side, add like a line grid behind it so that they can easily get what the data is saying. Don't exclude outliers. Yes. Some people feel like, this data is too far. Or probably you plot an histogram and the last one is in a very far range. Now be like, let me delete this guy. Again. So because of that outlier is making your data very far, you say, let me delete this guy. Once you delete the guy, your data is no longer saying, it's no longer authentic. Like it's no longer original. You have already truncated it, like you have tampered with the data. So it's not telling the story. The people that are interested in your visualization might want to take care of those guys that are very far. And since you delete them, they don't see them. So they believe that everybody's okay here. And they don't do anything. But if it is very far, like that is what I'm trying to say. Don't compare more than 3 to 5 lines. Okay, don't compare more than 3 to 5 lines. Don't you don't want to you don't want your charts to become clustered and hard to read. So this particular line, I'm actually talking about a line chart. Like when you have a line chart, 5 is okay, 3 is the best. When it starts to get like 6 lines in one graph, starts to look like a design. Like starts to look like you're drawing what do you call this thing? I think the shape and pattern. When we were in secondary school, they tell us to draw shape and pattern. So anything, they will tell you that, you ask the fine art teacher, shape and pattern. What are we supposed to draw? Say draw anything and repeat it over the time. That is the instruction. They tell you draw anything and repeat it. So if you don't want your chart to be like draw anything and repeat it, so just make sure that you have like 3 to 5. So don't compare too many data points. Visualize the data you need to tell. That you need to tell your story. So like this guy is here now, look at all the legend and everything. It might be that the information they want to pass is that um, the people that have the lowest access, and visualizing all these big guys is not needed because these big guys are already fine. So you can just filter your data and say people that have the least reach, like or the lowest access, and then concentrate on them. That way, we have removed the guys that are going to make our data to be very distorted, and we are focusing on the guys that need the help. So the data you need to tell your story, focus on it, and probably leave the other ones. Don't compare two pie charts side by side. A line or area chart is best. Like if you have two pie charts, don't put them side by side. I mean, it is a pie chart in one single pie chart is hard to like read, is hard enough to read. So putting two pie charts, four pie charts in one visualization is actually going to be like work. And the eyes is not good. It's not, once the eyes looks at something and it realizes that it's stressing, it does not want to pay attention to it. So it just goes to the next thing. And so that is that about pie charts. Avoid using 3D or blow apart effects, except you are trying to create the graphics. Like I said, except you really want, that's what you want. Like, I want a 3D design for maybe a video, or for maybe a design to put in a magazine, use a 3D. But if you are still within the confine of data analytics or probably a data science confinement, don't use 3D, or when don't use 3D for all these kind of simple charts. There are different areas where you can use 3D visualizations that is most needed. But for all these variable number, categorical data, numerical data, just try to avoid a 3D visualization. So that is that about the do's and the don'ts. So we can now go to Excel and try to create and format our data. So let us format the data that we created and make it look like this. Let's do that together. And if you have time, I will show us how to like create an interactive chart. Like, we can also create a dashboard in Excel. Dashboard are meant to be interactive. That is what makes them dashboard. So you can create a dashboard in Excel even without going to Power BI. So if time permits us, you can just do 3-to-1 charts. And so people online, we are good. We are going to Microsoft Excel. If you have any question, drop it. We are going to pick it and we'll do justice with it. So Excel here will come. Okay, let me just come here and bring out Excel. So this is the area that allows us to like format. I think I can see better from this. So this is the area that allows us to format our data. So first of all, we want to create the column chart. So we have this. We have insert. Then we have recommended chart. Let me just pick it from here. So I want to pick it. So this is program. Okay. So we have this now. So let us do, sorry about that. Sorry. So let us change the chart title. So I just double clicked it. There are several ways. You can just come to this pane, click the text option, and then you'll be able to format the text. So I'll just write, family cash flow. and that will be good. So I've also ensured that my data is starting from 0, so 0 to 2000, 2000 to 4000, and then I have January here. So one thing I want to add again is I want to add, sorry, I want to add the axis label. It is missing. I want to put month here, and I want to put amount here, probably amount, yes. So to do that, I have to add data elements because what is missing is the data element. So I'll on this chart, I'll come to add chart element. Chart element. I'll come here, add chart element, and then I know what I want to add is axis label, right? So I can come to axis or data label. No. Let's do axis label first. So I have the one that is under primary horizontal. I click it, so it puts that there. I go there again and I do axis type to switch it. I'll pick the primary vertical. So the reason why we have primary horizontal and primary vertical is that I can also have secondary horizontal and secondary vertical. That is, if I want to represent, I want to use like, I can use the same charts to represent two. I can use this chart to represent two stuff. Probably this is for January for 2023. And I also have income and expenditure for 2024. I don't really need to create another chart. I'm just using that as an example. I'll just use um, that illustration. Okay, let me just use it to explain. I'll just use the same chart. And instead of that my example will not work because this axis is actually amount and month. But I'm trying to look at scenarios where we have, okay, I can use this too. I'll just give it another color such that the bars will still be there. And I can have another color that will represent 2023. So that is going to be like a secondary axis. So let us just edit this. Just okay, this place is going to be month. So we can have month. This space is going to be amount. So I'm going to do this. So one more thing I want to do is that it is also best practice for me to add the values so that I don't stress people that are viewing my chart. So I can add the values here. This one corresponds to like 160,000. I can add it there. So one way to go about this is just click on it. So when you click on, you see it's selected like all those ones that are under income. So I go to add charts element, and that is going to be like a series label. So I come to data label, and then I can see, you see it's adding it. This one says add it on the body inside it. This one says add it like at the top corner of it. This one says at the bottom part of it. This one says outside it. So I can add it outside. Now, this is not looking very smooth. It is oriented horizontally. Like it's not tallying with my, I want to make it orient vertically. But before I do that, okay, let me just do that. So I can just click on it. So if I click on it now, like clicking on it, it saves me the stress of coming here to say label option. Look at all the options that is there. So it's saying, okay, series, I have income. Series, I have expenditure. Under here, income has data label, expenditure does not have data label. What I want to work with is series data label. So it saves me that stress. And look at this text option. It allows me to like customize the text, but I'm all about the shape now because the shape where my text sits. And I want to readjust the orientation. This one is all about feel and the outline. That's the first function. This one is about the effects. But you want to add shadow, you want to change color, probably all those effects. And this one is about size and properties. So this is the one that I need. So under this alignment, I can come here and say I want my align text direction. I want my text direction to be vertical in this sense. So that way it helps me with my text direction. So I can also specify some other things here. I can say, let me see. Let me see size. Okay, it does not allow me to do size. I'm looking at something else I can do here. Let me not tamper with this. Okay, so this is for like the options. Okay, so this is what I need. So I can just come to this home tab. Since it's not allowing me to reduce the size from there, I want to just pick size 8 so that it fits to my shape very well. And there's something I want to do. I want to put this thing in currency. Let me see if it will work. Okay, yeah, it will not work from here. So I can actually put it in currency. It means I'll just come to my table and format it. You know, it's getting the values from the table. If I come to the table and format it as currency, my data label will be formatted as currency. So let's just first apply the same strategy to expenditure. So you come here, you do this, you go to video, and come back here. Let's select it first. Okay, well, let's use this option now. Wow. So I want to move this guy. I want to move this guy out of the way because I want to format this guy as a currency, and I want to specify. So you see that happened right there. I want to specify this guy to have the currency. So this is going to happen. So that is that. Okay. I want to just run this guy to the same. So the same way I change the size of the other guys, you can actually change the size of anything. If you just click, select this, highlight, you can bold it, reduce it to like, bold it, reduce it to like 13, that does not take the whole space of the wall. Like, yeah, that is how it works, like formatting data. Is there anything I forgot? So I think this is what we have. I can actually increase the size. This one is this chart area now. I mean, this is plot area. This plot area is too close to the chart title for me. So you can actually click and drag it. Okay, hold on. So this is this is the chart area, then this is the plot area. So I want to select the plot area itself and drag it down. That's too down. Dragging the whole, I can drag it up. So that allows us to do that too. So I can actually remove the grid line. So it's just go to the charts, add chart elements. You see grid lines. So this is another grid line, this is another grid line, this is another grid line. So there is no grid line apart from the vertical one that is there. So this way you can actually customize your chart in a way that is best. You can do this for any kind of charts, pie charts, area plots, scatter plots. You can do this for any kind of chart. So that is what makes it work. Now, this is what I want to do. I want to copy this chart now. And I want to paste it in another sheet. So I want to start from here. So we are going to be creating like few more visualizations. Oh, interestingly, let's do, okay, let me show you how to create an interactive chart. So let me let me come back to this sheet, this chart area. So I can delete this guy from here now. I was thinking I'll use that dashboard data, but because of our time, let's just use this. I'm trying to create like a dashboard now. So let's just use this. So we can apply pivot table. We learned pivot table yesterday. So we can apply pivot table and say insert and say pivot tables. So if you insert pivot table, you say all the old table. So I want to do it in this workbook and I'll put the location as here. So I want to make this happen. Now, what I want to see is that I want to be able to like switch between income and expenditure. I want to see my visualization for income at one point and my visualization for expenditure at another point. So I can bring, oh, that is not going to work. Okay, let's bring it. Let's do it. Let's try and do this. Yeah, anything works actually. It depends on how we are trying to make it work. So let me see. Filters, income, also filters, expenditures. Yes. Okay, so since it's not allowing me to do that, I'll just remove it. So I'll try to pivot it in another way. So I'll pivot it by the month. I'll pivot it by the month, and then I'll say I want to. Do you know why it's not allowing me to do that? Because it's two separate columns. That's why it's not allowing me to do that. So I'll just bring my income to this guy. Let me see if it will allow me to bring my expenditure here. So my value now is going to be sum of income, sum of expenditure. Let's see the type of charts that we are going to have. So if I click here, I can click on January. So it allows me to see my income for January and my expenditure for January. So now this is like a pivot table. So the income for January and the expenditure for January. So I can use this table to create a pie chart. So let me just highlight this area. So I'll highlight it and I'll create a pie chart. So come to okay. That. This table is not actually well formatted as well. The table is not well formatted, but we can still get what we want. So I'll just go ahead and get what we want. Okay. Where to? Okay. Yeah, I was saying this table is not well formatted. So one thing is that this alone, like there's nothing to pivot in this table actually, because this table is summarized enough. So suppose we have like this income and expenditure in the same column, like this pivoting now, it did nothing to this table actually. Let me come here and show you. Like here now, I want to have income in this place and have expenditure in this place. I don't know if you understand. So what I want to visualize is I want to have a pie chart that will say that this portion of this pie chart is income. This portion of this pie chart is expenditure for the month of January. That's why I filtered pie chart. Yes, yes. Drag. So it depends on what you want to create. Now let us visualize it this way. I'm trying to create a pie chart. I'm trying to create a table that tells me that once I filter by month, I want to know in January what happened. So it means that I'm filtering by month. And I want to see what is going to happen. Whatever you want to see is what's going to be in this row. Now, for this row, I want to see the income in January and the expenditure in January. But there is no column that captures income and expenditure at the same time. I don't know if you understand. Income is a separate column, expenditure is a separate column. But I cannot pivot separate columns like that. You understand? That's why my pivot is not working. So I'm supposed to like have a column that has income and expenditure in it. So I'll drag it under rows. To now pivot row income and expenditure automatically. Not that I'll drag it one by one. You understand? So then the value will now be sum of income, sum of expenditure. You understand? This value is always calculations. It's always calculations. It's always what you want to see. Yes. The filter is actually the ones you want to see and the ones you want to hide. How do you want to see them? How do you want to hide them? I want to see them by month. So that's why I add months. So, but for this, my time is up already. But for the purpose of this interactive visualization, I'll use this dashboard data. I think this one will work for me. Remember, this dashboard data, we are able to like create some pivot tables with it. So let us just try and create a table. So we highlight the data. So that I can pivot it. Let's just pivot it very quickly. So if you pivot this table now, so we are selecting the range. I want to put it in an existing worksheet, which is the other one that we used. So I'll just come to charts. I want to put it here. So I'll just click OK. So what do I want to do? I want to pivot. Okay, let me pivot sentiments, positive and negative. You now see the difference now. Under the sentiments, positive and negative, they are under the same column, not in separate columns. So I can look at positive and negative like more. Okay, so let's do sentiments. And then I can filter by the months by which they happen. And then I can say how many sentiments has happened. That is what I want. So I don't want to do, I want to do count of sentiments. So this allows me to like do my pivots. Uh, this is the table. So it means that if I want to see the ones that happen in the month
Go
of July,
check if she's in the room.
sorry, I'm almost done. So why is that not applying? I want to see the ones that happen in July. Okay, I have to click this. So let's now use this value now to create like a pie chart. So we can insert again, insert the pie chart. and then insert pie chart. So we see that our pie chart is inserted. So here we can make it interactive in the sense that you can come here and say, which month do you want to see? You want to see July. You want to see June. You click June, you click OK. And then pivot. So if you have from January to February, you can have an interactive chart like this. You don't have to go to the table. So this chart now, I'll just have to copy it, Control C. And then I'll have to come to this my sheet that I've created here. I can paste it. So if I paste it, I can resize it as much as I like. So I just want to show us how visualization works in Excel. Here now you can also select only the areas that you need. This view allows you to select
In the class, give them
areas
sheet,
where
like,
you have worksheets. So here now you can just shift these guys. This is a visualization. You can shift this guy. So there's one more thing that you can do. We can actually remove these grid lines in Excel. I think it's under view. So if you remove this grid line in Excel, I think, oh shit, I'm not recharging that. So,
I don't see the queue. No, cyber.
yeah, it's guidelines. Yeah. Now you see that you can actually customize. Suppose I have my sheet. I have the heading. I have everything. I have heading. I have
take them to come
the
on.
description.
Is
I
that
have all my charts. Yeah, you can actually use this like a visualization, like the common one that we do in Power BI. So you can have a geographical visualization. You can have you understand a lot of them. So you can also do a dashboard in Excel. Just have to go from sheet to sheet.
Good
And you can
afternoon,
also
ma.
like
Good afternoon,
create
sir.
a
Welcome. Sorry. My mom is with everything, both the key and the NEPA bill, and she's not at home. So I want to call her now. I'm in a class. So let me just see if I can call her.
Thank you very much. Just one. Okay, so this is going to be like the end of the class. So thank you everybody.
So we can give him a round of applause again. Any question? Do you have any question online, on ground, on site? No question. We actually enjoy the class, yes or no?
Yeah.
We did enjoy the class. Okay, good. So thank you very much, Olamide. And I want to also thank our virtual attendees for staying true. Thank you very much. Okay, so it's our joy to be available. We want to impact, and then we love when people are committed to this course of us. Okay, so a few announcements. This is day 3, and some assessment has been shared with us, both especially for Python class. You're expected to submit your notebooks, and the link to submit has also been shared with everybody, right? Can you confirm you have received the link to submit your assessment? Okay, we have all gotten the link to submit our assessment. Good. So please, you can start submitting your assessment. Do well to fill the attendance, because it's only those who submit attendance will receive link to submit the assessment. Okay, good. And tomorrow there's not going to be a physical. We are not going to be physically here. Everybody's going to be joining virtually. So I want you to take note of that. And those online, nobody will be. Good. So there's not going to be any physical class tomorrow and Friday. Please and please, I want you to take note of this. There's not going to be physical class tomorrow, that's Thursday and Friday. It will all be virtual the same time. Let us be punctual. So there is no yet assessment for Excel, but it will be shared with you. if there's going to be any assessment for today, we can drop it on the link on the WhatsApp, or probably the assessment will be shared tomorrow. So just watch out for assessments from the okay. So those online, please confirm if you still hear me. Those that are still online. Okay, so the recordings for yesterday's class will also be shared with everyone. The same way you see one for Monday. We are going to share it with everyone via email, and also probably via our WhatsApp group chat. Okay, so don't forget to submit your attendance. It's also very, very important. I think that is all for now. Those of you that we have, you know, your location is a bit distance from here, you need to be on your way on time so that you will not be, you are not going to be sharing a story that touched the heart. So thank you very much and do enjoy the rest of your day. Okay, bye everyone. Yeah, the recording should be shared, Abiodun. The recording will be shared with everyone that submits the attendance. That fill the attendance form, the recording will be shared. Okay, good. The attendance link. Okay, so let me just